Just a quick announcement before this video starts, because I kind of forgot to say in the video. If you have made a machinima or a little Rockstar editor video and you wish for me to look at it, be sure to send me it, or at least, you know, kind of send me a link on YouTube or something, or send me it over Twitter or whatever, if you wish for me to see it. And if you want me to as well upload it and put your name in the description or whatever, I will be happy to do that, because personally, I'm one person who's trying to get machinimas back into popularity, because I goddamn love them. So anything would help if you want to. If you don't want to and you just want me to have a look at it, or maybe just showcase a couple of machinimas, then I will. I'll be happy to do it. Happy, that makes sense. Anyway, so let's get on with the video. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, continue. Shut up editing, Matt. Let's go. Welcome, people and BlockRoomians. As you know, today, the new free mode event update released for GTA 5, meaning now you lot on the Xbox One and PS4, amongst many other things, actually all consoles other than Xbox 360 and PS3 have, you now also have access to the Rockstar editor, which allows you to make cool clips. It allows you to record them. It allows you to then go in and then edit them. Now, this video, what I'm about to do here, is actually on the PC. However, I will state that there's literally the only difference between the PC version and the PS4/PS/Xbox One version is that PC can have mods, okay? And also, when it goes to render, it renders to your hard drive so you can edit it after. There are ways technically that you can do that though on the PS3 and PS4 and Xbox One, sorry. But the only other difference is that obviously you can mod. I do have a mod that allows me to take the camera outside the little zone you are restricted to, but I'll stick between the zone for this one. And basically, I just kind of want to show you some tips, some tricks I've learned over using the Rockstar editor. So, first off, you're going to want to record. Now, if you hold down the down button on your D-pad, you'll see that you obviously get a choice. You can start recording or turn on action replay, given that you haven't already turned on action replay, in which case there's a button to like save it and stuff. But for making machinimas, etc., you're going to want to start recording. And basically that one is attached to my subtract key. It'll be whatever key it tells you there, or button, or it might even be a certain combination of buttons. I don't know. Whatever yours says, you basically press that and it will start recording. Now we are recording. It's basically just recording all the data of what we do. So now if we shoot this person here, the beeping was just a problem with fraps. And shoot some people, run through, shoot, and whack. We can basically now stop recording, which is just pressing exactly the same button again. And now we've saved that, as you see down in the, just say in just above the map to the left. So, now we have saved that clip. I'm trying not to speak too fast, I'm trying to get through it, you know, in a reasonable time. You basically want to bring up your map view. Now, you don't want to go into it, you just kind of either want to go along to the right or just go along to the left. Until you hit the very end, it's literally the last one, the Rockstar editor. Now, there's also some stuff you can do here. At the minute, you can only press enter to go into it, so we will do that, and it will basically load you out to story mode. Now note, you can only do this in story mode. You can record in online and story mode, but you can only enter the Rockstar editor in story mode. Bit complicated and a bit dodgy, but whatever's the way it's done, so we're going to have to deal with it. So now you are greeted with some options: create new project, load project, director mode, clip management, video gallery, and you won't have these two here, and then you'll just have exit Rockstar editor. And the reason why you don't have these two here is because that one just goes straight to Google Chrome or your internet, which isn't really needed or that too much possible on Xbox One and PS4. I know you can go on like the internet, but it just doesn't happen. And quit game, where you just take out your disc anyway. So, you may see director mode is grayed out. That's the one where you can like change all your character and that kind of stuff. So you can change to an animal once you've unlocked them and they found like the peyote plants. Same thing with story mode characters, like when you do certain things, you unlock some story mode characters. All pretty much the characters are open at the start. However, you can only do this when you are on foot, out of a interior, so like out of a building, and when you're not wanted. That's the only time you can go into director mode. You can also do it using that little action menu where you can set the GPS as a mode. There you can go straight into director mode, but whatever. So let's create a new project and let's add our clip. Now, as you'll see, I have a goddamn lot of clips, and that's because I make machinimas and that kind of stuff, so I tend to record a lot of clips because I have to keep little tight clips to kind of keep the action fresh. So you're basically going to want to select that one, whichever button it tells you, and you're going to want to pop it into your project. It'll automatically pop it in with the first one, you won't need to actually select it, but if we go to pop in another one, so it's this one, you can choose where you want it, so you can choose where you want it there, or whether you want it somewhere else. If you wish to pick that up, then you can, then you just move it, or you can duplicate it if you want, and then have them, but we're just going to delete them too, because we're not using them. So, this is the one we literally just recorded. You're going to want to go into it and edit the clip. As you see, it says down there at the bottom right, edit. It'll be whatever button you have for your PS4 Xbox One. So we're going to go straight in. And literally, as of saying this, from what I've seen of the PS4 and Xbox One version, because I've actually seen people play it, play around with the new Rockstar editor on there, it's literally exactly the same. It's practically, there's no differences. The only difference is like there's a couple of different things you can do on the PC, like the tutorials and quick game, and that's practically it. And obviously the buttons are a bit different than you have a mouse. Really, other than that, there's no difference. So, cameras. These are your different types of cameras. So you have game camera, free camera, preset front, preset rear, preset right, preset left, preset overhead. So if you're going for a classic GTA 1 or GTA 2 style, then you can use that. That'd be an interesting little machinima. And then there's free camera, which is my goddamn favourite. Free camera allows you to move around wherever you like. However, though, in the PS4 and Xbox One version, you are limited with a little red bubble, which is kind of like camera placement area. Usually on the PC, so I have a mod that removes that, so I can go whee. But you unfortunately won't be able to do that. That's the only difference with the editor, is that you can have mods, and mods allow me to do that. So, anyway, we are going to set up a simple scene, obviously, where Franklin goes in, punches, and starts shooting a load of people, because that seems like a really nice thing to do to people, but whatever, it's GTA, no one cares. So, anyway, we're going to place down our camera. And you can see me zooming in and out here. You can actually zoom in and out, and I strongly recommend you do. Because the only problem is if you put the camera with the same zoom as normal, which I think is like 090 or something, or it's 1 time zoom, it's one of them. It just looks, it doesn't look as good. If I wanted to do a shot here with him, and then I zoomed in, all of a sudden it kind of gives it a bit of a different perspective. It's kind of a bit weird when it zooms in, as you see, look. And then everything kind of gets a bit more flatter. Also, depth of field works better when you zoomed in because you're focusing more on things. So if I go next to Franklin, like here, as you see, it's not very good. But if I go and zoom in on him, all of a sudden, the background goes really blurry. Because, of course, we're focusing on Franklin. Anyway, I'm going to try and keep this short and concise. So, anyway, straight to the point. So we're going to place one here of Franklin. And basically, he now is going to walk over.
I need to hit a bar now.
And he's going to hit this guy instead of him hitting a bar. Now, there's different things we can do here. We can make it look at different people, so we can make it look at any of them, any of the people in the area. This also counts for dogs. Not too sure with other animals, though, because I've never really tried it. There's move with target, which is what it says in the tin. It moves with the target. And there's different selections for moving the target. There's flexible, which kind of... I'm just thinking the best way to describe flexible. Flexible, if you can see here, kind of... The camera kind of stays exactly where it is in position on the world. So 70 that way there is 217 degrees. It'll always stay facing 217 degrees. It won't rotate round with Franklin. You basically you get to see all the different sides of Franklin. So there we can see the side of Franklin. There we can kind of see his front. With rigid, that doesn't happen. If we go in under cameras, and when it lets us put on rigid, as you will see, the camera actually moves, so it keeps on that same point as Franklin. So there you go. As you see, the camera kind of moves to stay in that same position on Franklin, that same frontal position, rather than just moving round him in general and showing us different parts of him, different sides of his body. It just keeps on the same parts. Bit difficult to kind of explain that one, in my opinion. It's a bit of an awkward one. The best way to learn it is to play around with it. Then we have blend mode, which is kind of like the way the camera moves. So if we put blend mode on,
I need to hit a bar now.
The camera moves from one marker to the next, whichever the position is, basically in whichever form. So there's linear, there's smooth. Smooth's a bit more, well, smooth, linear, or linear is a bit more, well, linear, whatever the hell you want to call it. So if we zoom in, it acts for everything like zoom. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for stuff like depth of field. So if I wanted it to then kind of like go out from no depth of field to like really strong faded background depth of field, it can't really do that. That's one thing that does kind of annoy me. Then there's camera shake, so you can add a bit of camera shake. You can kind of make it a bit shaky. So we can basically see Franklin here, comes in, he goes to hit him. We can kind of have a little bit of a unexpected camera here. Look at them elf ears. So we can just pop him in there, and then he's like, boom. And then there's Franklin looking really angry. Angry. And then we can move it out, we can zoom out a little bit, and we can place it here. So all of a sudden now we have a bit of a different view. So basically you just kind of start moving the different cameras about, and then eventually you kind of get the picture, you know, it kind of starts to move a little bit. I'll just turn it off for the meantime. Now, you may have seen here, I pulled out a gun here, and then I started shooting. Now, same as if I wanted that in slow motion. Well, you can do that, you just change the speed, so we'll change it down a bit. We'll make him shoot him, blah, 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 blah. And then we'll speed it back up again, blah, blah, blah. And then Franklin will run in, start shooting. And then we'll have a shot that's completely random, won't fit in with the scene, but just so I can show off, like, depth of field and that kind of stuff. So if we have a shot like that one there. So it's a bit random, but it helps to show off the depth of field effects. One thing you also notice is now you can have Snapmatics in the new version. You can actually take pictures using the Rockstar editor, so you don't have to always use your phone to take pictures, which is wonderful because now you can set up pictures so much easier and get better cameras. So let's have a little look here. We're going to kind of have like a little bit of thing. He looks like Bobblehead Bob from Payday 2. We'll basically have it 35%, so... Oh, hold on, I've gone back to the start. There we go. My mistake. There we go. So basically now he gets punched. And then it zooms on again, and then Franklin runs away, which we will do. We shall have it kind of like here. This might be actually quite an interesting shot. Kind of like that. So, basically, at the end of these are the end points and the start points. You can drag these in to select a certain start point. We don't really want to select a certain start point. We've got our start point that we like. It's here. So, we're going to keep that there. And then there's stuff called transitions. Now, this is stuff where you can basically fade it in or fade it out. Unfortunately, these are the only two. I don't know whether they're going to add any more. I mean, they are actually adding to the creator, you know, the editor, so that's cool. But as you can see, it kind of fades in. It kind of makes a nice smooth blacking in and blacking out effect. Fading in and fading out like that. Beautiful. Now here, as you can see, I was on about depth of field. I won't use that clip as an example too much, but I will actually make Franklin the target here and kind of turn it up a little bit.
I need to hit a bar now.
So if here we want to do that, now all of a sudden at this slow point, we kind of want to make it look a bit funny, kind of make it look a bit weird. Here actually, we'll also change the camera a little bit to show it off better. So we'll kind of have this kind of camera. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna get shot. Ah, blah 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 blah. So, anyway, right, let's move in. You can make it like really super slow if you honestly want to create some kind of like real monumental scene. If you want to see like proper action slow-mo and stuff, how I like to use it, I'll leave a link down below to some of my other machinimas. The Last Stand's a great one to look at for stuff like depth of field effects and slow motion. Mayday isn't too much, that's just more of a story thing, but as you can see here, we slow it down. And then we're going to speed it back up. And so, we want to create an effect here. So we kind of want it to look a little bit different. So we kind of want it to kind of change the camera and look a bit like... which one should we have? Let's have this one. Nostalgia. So we can change all sorts of stuff. We can change the saturation, which is practically the power of the colours. As I like to see, it basically makes the look a bit more colourful or not. So if you turn down the saturation, it basically makes it kind of look a bit more black and white. Kind of looks a little bit more grey-green though. So we'll turn that up just a tiny bit. To about 2. Contrast is basically just kind of... like that, as you see, it kind of makes it a little bit more... it's kind of a difficult one to explain contrast. Kind of like lightness and darkness, like the difference between them. So we'll kind of keep it like that. Brightness is self-explanatory, the brightness of the scene, so we want it to be kind of nice and dark, so the fire, well, should I say the what's it called? The muzzle flash at the end of the gun looks quite different. And then we want to up the vignette effect. Vignette is the thing around the screen, so we can kind of focus it in a little bit, so it's kind of like, no, don't shoot, no, no. So, anyway, let's copy the effects. This is a new feature now. You can copy the effects, because before you had to keep doing the same effect and you had to keep putting it in on each keyframe. Now you don't. Now you just press enter and it pastes it again. And then, well, basically, for the same camera, we'll kind of keep it. And then here we'll kind of make it move linear a little bit. So there we go. So as you can see, the effects unfortunately don't kind of like slowly seep in kind of thing. There's no way to do that. It just hard changes. So as you see, it allows slowly change. Pew 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 pew. Run, run! Nobody's got a gun. So there we go. That's the effect. Depth of field is, for those of you who know or do photography or anything like that, will know what depth of field is. If you don't, cover your left eye. This is the best way to describe it. Like, I don't know, something like your left eye. Close that, and then get your finger, just like one finger, preferably your index finger, and hold it close to your eyes and just focus on the center of your finger. You'll notice everything behind it goes blurry. That's depth of field. It's basically, it focuses on the thing you're trying to focus on and blurs out the rest, so it's even more crisp and clear. It's actually quite a nice little thing to have. And there's many different modes. You have manual, which is just manually kind of like selecting it, and then there's automatic. It just kind of senses off what you're looking at, what's towards the center of the camera, and then everything else will blur. So if we want that table to look really, really high definition and really, really crisp, we can turn down the depth of field a bit, but turn it up enough that everything's really blurred, and then that kind of happens. Here you can kind of see I just tend to have it set, so it's preset in the back. And he hits him, does whatever, and then Franklin drives off, or well, runs off. We could say he drove off as a story thing if you want, but whatever. So, if you want to add in sound effects, if that's a new thing, well, you're in luck, because in the new update they have indeed added sound effects, and I'm pretty damn sure they should be in the PC, I mean PS4 and Xbox One versions, because, I mean, it kind of came with the update, so it makes sense to have the contents of the update in it. And basically you can set all sorts of stuff. So there's miscellaneous, so you can have bottle breaks, skids, door knocks, door opens, dog barking, and all that kind of stuff. Vehicle pass by, so you can kind of have car pass with the horn. Like that kind of effect. That actually fit perfectly. And then you kind of have everything like that. And by the way, when I mean fit perfectly, I don't mean like it fit with the scene, it just fit with the time. Fit with the time. And explosions, you can have massive explosions, so if you're a good old Michael Bay fan, then you're in luck, because, well, he's here to save you. Let's turn off the dialogue for this part, and let's kind of like have it quite dim. Score intensity, that's kind of like the score. It's, you probably know what score is, you might not. It's tend to used in horror movies quite often. It's also used in GTA, where it goes like in a really, like a non-tense part. Where it's all quiet and you just hear like a little bit of sound in the background, like a tiny little bit of music, it's like doo, 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 or something like that. It might sound crap over the microphone, but whatever. And then as soon as something jumps out, it's like bum 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 bum. That's basically the score. The score intensity, if it's on maximum, it'd be like bum 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 bum. And if it's on minimum, it'd be like bloop 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 bloop. Actually, it probably won't even be like beep beep. It'd probably just be nice, gentle, not very fast, gentle, quiet music just in the background, just to suit the clip. And then maximum, it'll be jumping around and death and explosions and whoa, Michael Bay. All that will happen. And then microphone type, you can choose cinematics at the target at the camera. So you can, if you have a target selected, it'll basically put the microphone where the target is. So if we have Franklin selected as a target, like if we're looking at target Franklin, if we're looking or following him or whatever, the target, it'll basically put the microphone there. Cinematic, it just does it as a cinematic kind of thing, which is always a nice thing to do. And you can even copy the audio. That's a thing you can do now, which is wonderful. So we can do that. So if we want explosions, we can. Although I don't want metal in the background, so there was one I used earlier that I really liked, which was Distant Explosion, because it doesn't have that in the background. It's kind of like... Oh! And to be honest, in my opinion, that just helps to make it sound that more dramatic. So, anyway, we are now going to kind of actually copy it with none. Hold on. Copy the audio, because we don't want the explosion to carry over, so on each one it has a different explosion. I mean, it kind of depends on what sound you want the bullet to have. I mean, you can just generally use these. You can use these for actual just generalized shot effects or just explosives. It's up to you. So we want to set that for the whole thing. So if we go audio, we can paste the audio by pressing enter, whatever button it will tell you on your console. Move to the next one. You see down here the cycle. That'll cycle between the different markers. It tells you how to put markers down somewhere. Well, I'm on a marker right now, so I can't really place them down. But as you see here, it says add marker, so whatever button that is for you. Adding that's all added in, that's all added in, that's all added in, that's all added in. Ah, there we go, that's the one. I thought I just overwritten it, and then I was like, no. So, there we go. So now all of our stuff is set. I practically think I've gone through everything. You can set a thumbnail, so I like that as a thumbnail. Oh, no, that's a crappy thumbnail. Which is a good thumbnail? Ooh. Now that might be an interesting thumbnail. Or that might be. Or that. No, that just makes Franklin look drunk. No, that's a good one because he looks like he's like praying. No, don't shoot. I messed up. Anyway, you can change, as I said, the depth field so manually, so we can kind of like just leave it just so he is in the shot and everything else is super blurry this summer. That was my announcer trailer voice. Shut up. We're basically just gonna take it down so stuff like the gun stays in, but everything else gets blurred. So now it's like that, and then it goes. Bah, 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 bah. So that's ours. I mean, we could take a Snapmatic if we want of that. We can probably put the hashtag just committed 100 years in jail. I don't know, something like that. Just take a Snapmatic as you will. And it'll basically just put it up by itself. And then you can save changes to your project so you don't lose it. And then you can do all sorts of stuff. I mean, as I said, you can duplicate it. So if you run the same thing over and over and over and over again, then you can. Also, a thing worth doing if you are on the PC version is using a small little clip. I use this one. It's a 3-second clip, well, practically 4-second clip, of me driving in a little Lamborghini Aventador, as I like to call it. Aventador is its actual name. Because if we quickly go and have a look at the full screen preview, I'll get onto the track bits in a minute, you'll see it'll not only play our little clip, but, oh wait, no, it didn't show it there. But when we go to export, for like the first 3 seconds of this whole project, not each clip, each project you make, at the very top, it'll come up saying your social club name and then the name of whatever you've called it. So if we go to call it Dinner-Death, basically it'll say Matty Munch and Dinner-Death. And it basically lasts for 3 seconds, it fades away. It looks totally, utterly shat if you are making a machinima. It doesn't look nice at all. So I put like a little 3-second clip that's totally unrelated, so it gets that out of the way, and then I can kind of start it when I want it, and it doesn't basically show up. If that makes sense. Kind of like it gets rid of that part for me. It's still there, it still puts it on, but it puts over a clip that I can just get rid of, you know, in post-editing. But I'm not too sure whether that'd be too much used on, what's it? On PS4 and Xbox One, because you may not be able to do it. Anyway, ambient tracks, they're just stuff like different sounds for the background, so depends what kind of sound we want, really. Actually, commercial area might be nice. Yeah, we'll have commercial area on. So basically, it'll just start playing commercial sounds. You can add text if that's something you want to do, so we'll add a text saying, you should subscribe to the BlockRoom. So basically, it'll pop down on the screen. You can edit its position and size. So obviously, it will tell you whichever button it is for the PS3, PS4. PS3, PS4. I keep saying that. Xbox One X, Xbox One, PS4, PS4 Xbone, whatever. You press enter, it changes it. You can change like the color of the font. You can change the type of font. I really like that one, but it kind of looks really bad there. So that one looks alright. And then you can set the opacity if you want. Change the duration. Don't worry, you can actually change the duration once you get into the timeline again. And we can actually make that a bit bigger, can't we? There we go. And we can move that up. There we go. So, now we can confirm add to timeline. And unfortunately, the only complaint I have with this feature is not only is there no like fade-in little amount of fonts, but you also can't really see where you're placing it. It's kind of like, it's there, but I don't know, what's in the way there. Is that the exact point I wanted to start? So you kind of have to do a lot of timing. So there we go, there's the Lamborghini Aventador, as I like to call it. And if we have a quick look at our playthrough, this is what we have. And then it'll load onto the next clip because it kind of loads each one as it goes. It does this when it's rendering, but when it's all finished, it doesn't. So, obviously, when you spend a lot more time, you can make something a lot better when you coordinate it and set up scenes. It gets a lot better. The more you use it, the better you'll become. So my tip is just practice with it, get used to it. Score track, that's literally what I said. So there's all sorts of different ones. You'll notice them from the game. So the actual, the actual scores playing in the background of the game. You choose whichever one, and obviously it changes the kind of the music to the score as what's happening. And radio track, I'm not going to do that because it'll start playing copyrighted music, but that's basically any song on the radio, well, most songs on the radio, you can basically just add in and whatever, although do be careful because some of them do generally copyright, like Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone is on there, and I thought, oh, well, they're not all on there, maybe these are just the non-copyright ones. And I had a look and no, it's still copyrighted, they've just only put a few on there, or well, they did when I last went on it, but let's have a look. So you see, you got all the ones on there. All the ones from the lab. Actually, I think... Now, as you see, look, there's only a couple there for Non-Stop Pop. There's way more than that in Non-Stop Pop, and definitely on Los Santos Rock Radio. You see, I don't want... You can just see Kenny Loggins just there. I'm not going to click on it, but that's Danger Zone. That's the song. Gonna take it right. Yeah, that's copyrighted. Sorry, Kenny Loggins, don't shoot me. Visitors, that's the one from that video that got sent out. Anyway, export, you just do that. It exports it to Social Club, and then you can put it on YouTube. If you're on PC, you export it. You can go into %app data %, and then if you go back, and then under local, then Rockstar Games, GTA 5 rendered, or like videos, rendered videos, or videos rendered, or something like that. You basically can find that file and you can take it into your editing software and edit it separately. So, that is the Rockstar editor in a nutshell. That is what to expect. Obviously, as I said, this is the PC version, so the only difference is the mod, and obviously the buttons are different and kind of like the way the camera might control, but that's basically just a little bit of a basic in-detail overview. I've tried to cram in as much as I can in as little as time possible, so it's nice and quick for you, but it's also helpful. So anyway, if there's any tips or tricks you have, any questions you would like to ask, be sure to leave them down below, because I'd love to hear them. If you've got a hate comment, please make it sound as constructive as possible, because, well, that helps. Video gallery, by the way, that's also where you go and you upload them to Rockstar Games Social Club and YouTube. Basically, when you export them, it takes them to the video gallery, and from the video gallery, you can then export it to Rockstar Social Club and upload it straight to YouTube. As I said, though, if you're on PC, just go into App Data, Local, Rockstar Games, GTA 5, videos, rendered, and it'll be there. It'll be whatever you named it, it'll be there, it'll be perfect. Oh, also another big must do if you're on PC. Despite how bad your PC is, unless it's like really bad that it might break, so I'm just going to give a bit of a warning here. Don't, I'm not to blame if your PC breaks. You should know the limits of your PC. But I have a 750 Ti and I ramp it on full settings. Literally, the game only runs at 4 FPS. But if you go to export at full settings and 720p at 30 FPS or 60 FPS, because it's rendering, it'll still achieve that. So it'll still be the full proper graphics at 60 FPS. Even if your PC can't run it, because it's rendering, it does it differently. So, whatever. That's a good tip. Remember to turn the load down when you go to play, otherwise you might implode. The game might run incredibly sluggish, but trust me, the effects it has later on are so much better. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this informative, as I said before. Any tips, questions, whatever, be sure to leave them down below. Thank you for watching. Go enjoy the update, especially on your PS4 and Xbox One. Now you have it. Now you can go make some machinimas and potentially find a way to break the camera boundary and maybe fly around a bit more, because there's literally no reason for that there. There's literally no reason for the camera boundary, as we've proved with mods, because, well, we're flying around now and it's absolutely fine. So, whatever. Anyway, thank you for watching, and cheerio.